What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here. This is a little bit of an impromptu update. How do you guys like the decorations, by the way? We've been trying to make the house look nice for Christmas. So I wasn't going to make a video today ultimately because there really wasn't anything going on. And then I was just sitting at my computer. I was looking at the charts. And I saw two things. I saw one thing that signals that we are going to have a major scenario for Bitcoin in about 3 weeks to a month from now. And I'll show you exactly why that is. And number two, Bitcoin has actually done something pretty incredible on two separate charts that I haven't really heard anyone talking about. So I just wanted to dive in super quick and just kind of share that with you guys. And my cat just came out right now. Say hello. Say hello, Stella. Of course, she won't do it now, and she literally never shuts up. But let's dive in, let's have a look, and maybe you guys will appreciate this quick video today. So today you can actually see that Bitcoin attempted to retest this support right around this area. And what's interesting is if we go back here, you'll notice that this was a very pivotal area for Bitcoin as well, right? We had lots of support here. We had resistance kind of here. And if we move to where we are today, you could see that there is actually some support happening right there. And if we go to the flag pattern that we're in, what's a little bit scary is that this right here could have been seen as a fake out. And, you know, if we just kind of scribble that out, then the question is, does that just put us in another one of these major flags where we're eventually going to end up just falling to the downside, right? That's kind of what we're worried about right now. But regardless of the short-term moves, what does happen with Bitcoin, which, by the way, if we do have a bounce here, I do think it would be possible for us to actually come up here. You could have a little 4% move, maybe back up to around 17,400, right? We could just potentially dance around in this area. And of course, if you guys are interested in trading, you could check out the tutorial popping up right here. There's over $46,000 in bonuses if you guys are interested. But I'm really not focused too much on the short term in this video. What I really wanted to talk about was this channel that we've been in, and we've been putting in literally lower highs and lower lows ever since this peak at around that $70,000 top, right? But if we look at how this coincides with this legacy trend line, right? The one that we've always had candle bodies close above, pretty much dating all the way back to around July of 2017. Even this COVID crash, right? We did get back above it, right? So we were able to close above it. Well, if we look, what are we doing right now, guys? We're getting very close to the end. I mean, if I just like zoom in even closer, you could see that we only have a few more possible weeks of being in this pattern, right? So pretty much we have 1, 2, 3, and then, you know, definitely by the week of January 16th, we would be outside of this, right? We would be right here. We would already be over here. So Bitcoin really only has 1, 2, 3, 4 max weeks before we're going to have to make that big decision. And that decision is going to be when we get to the end of this pattern, are we going to end up having that sell off to the downside, or are we going to attempt to come back up again to the top of the channel, maybe trying to get back up around that $20,000 to $22,000 area, right? So that is the sort of bigger concern. We could potentially just bore people for the next 3 weeks to a month, but I think once we get to this cross right here, we're going to see a very big move for Bitcoin. But this is the part of the charts I really wanted to show you guys, more so than just what's going to happen in the next month or so. I wanted to have a look at where we are structurally. And although a lot of people do tend to look at Bitcoin, you know, in the logarithmic form, this is actually a linear form right here. So you can actually see how crazy it is when you go back into these previous bear markets that we had. I mean, look how crazy this looks. And then you zoom in and it's just, you know, this little blip on the chart. Same thing right here. Look how crazy that looked. Zoom out, you know, and you can see how small that is compared to this one. And we will continue to the upside, of course. But what I did want to focus on is this right here. So if we actually change this, now you can change it to the line right here, or you could just change it to the area. I kind of like the area because it fills everything in. And what I wanted to show you guys, and you could see how much cleaner this actually makes the chart look, you know, when you get rid of all the candles. And I just wanted to show you guys something. If we actually take this nice clean break, you know, from there all the way to the top right here, and let me make it a color so that we can kind of see. Let me make it green. You guys can actually see that on the linear, we've had rejection here, we've had rejection here, but actually, if we zoom in right here, you can see that we've sort of bounced off of it, right? So that's pretty interesting to see that we've actually been able to turn this resistance that's been resistance ever since the top into some support. Now, of course, that doesn't mean, that we can't go lower and just keep riding down as support on this trend. But I do want to say that that is one bit of positivity for everyone that's freaking out, worrying about how far along we are in the bear market. And what's interesting is even if you want to switch it to the high-low chart, now you'll see all of a sudden we're not exactly lined up. Well, what's crazy is if we actually connect this to the high-low as well, and we connect this to this candle right here, you could see that we have also had clear rejections again, rejection here, rejection here, rejection even here, and then again, we've had that clean support, right? So this is showing structurally, at least on the linear, that we are doing something positive for Bitcoin, although it is a little bit weak. Nevertheless, we are having that. Now, you might be wondering also what these red lines are for. Let me actually just switch it back to the area so we could see a little bit better. So basically what these are some of the areas that you're seeing people talk about on the linear. So, if you zoom, let me get this back to auto. Obviously, if you go back here, it's hard to do it without, okay, there we go. So zooming in right here, you guys could see that basically we're just taking this point here, this point here, this point here, and we're doing the same thing up here, right? We're taking this point here, and kind of a little bit of this point here. And this is why some people are saying on this linear chart that we have to come down here and retest some of these levels. And that's where you're getting these crazy sort of $10,000, $11,000 levels, right? Now, things could potentially be different, right? Because we are in a different macro environment this time. But I will just say that if we go back historically, Bitcoin has never touched either of those trends at any point, right? Here's the first bull, here's the bottom, and then here's the, the tops in the second part of the wave. And you can see we never touched it. And, if you zoom in here, you have something similar happening right here. And we never touched that either. So here we go, zooming in, never touched it. So will we go down to that level? Will it be different this time? It could be, guys. Obviously, macro environment is very different, but nevertheless, the fact that we have, touched that level is pretty cool. And something else I wanted to point out as well is if we actually look at these Bitfinex, these are the Bitfinex shorts. You can see up here, they're the shorts. And they have actually been rolling over recently. So it looks like some people are actually potentially closing their shorts right now. So I don't know what that means. Does it mean that we can't go lower? Does it mean that there can't be a fake out? Not necessarily. But the fact that they are starting to close their shorts might mean that bigger investors and whales are not really looking to short the price potentially at these levels. Although I did see a story today that there were some whales that were selling, which was interesting, but it hasn't really seemed to affect the price too much. Of course, guys, the correlation with the S&P is something we have to pay attention to as well, and that, as you guys can see right here, is attempting to hit one of its first levels of support with obviously its major level down around 35.86. But that is essentially it. I just wanted to share that chart with you guys. So let me know what you guys think. I know that the macro environment says that we could have a lot more craziness happen, in the markets, but I did just think that that was a very interesting chart, and we have flipped the resistance as support, so we'll have to see what goes on this time. And yeah, I know a lot of people are laughing because I have Halloween posters up in the background of Christmas, but those are up all year round. They actually come as a set. As you guys may know, I'm like a huge collector of like all vintage pinballs and posters and stuff like that. But anyway, guys, thank you for coming back to the channel. I love you. And if you do appreciate these type of, super quick, random, impromptu videos, let me know. Drop a comment, drop a like. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.